this goofy woman is reeks of a lot of economic illiteracy. The people that she is claiming to represent obviously do as well. But I do think that this is an opportunity for us who are to deem other rational people, definitely from an economic sense, to look at this and see why this sort of rhetoric works on a lot of people and tapping into the mind of the brain dead leftists when it comes to the subject of economics. Let's just watch this real quick, and then I'll give you my comments.
I want to ask you about what
Sorry if it's coming out of one ear.
Analysis from the Joint Committee on Taxation. They say, according to, if I've read the chart correctly, more than 16% of taxpayers would see their taxes increase under the bill that's approved by the House Ways and Means Committee. Will the president sign that bill as it is coming out of that committee, or will he insist on the changes so that he will maintain his commitment that taxes won't go up on people making $400,000 a year?
I have not looked at the document or the report that you have put out. Obviously, the president, or that you have referenced, I should say, that the Republicans put out. Obviously, the president's commitment remains not raising taxes for anyone making less than $400,000 a year. There are some, and I'm not sure if this is the case in this report, who argue that in the past, companies have passed on these costs to consumers. I'm not sure if that's the argument being made in this report. We feel that that's unfair and absurd, and the American people would not stand for that. But I will take a closer look at this report and get you a more.
She has got to be the dumbest motherfucker and actually she's not. I can't call her the dumbest motherfucker because she's saying dumb shit that a lot of these people say. Talking about this shit that would be unfair, and that is basically suggesting that that's the fault of the company, that the company wouldn't just eat the goddamn cost. Do y'all understand how retarded that is? They're saying that, okay, here's the deal. With our new plan, you are now required, because you make above this money, you're bringing in this much in revenue or net, whatever it is. You're bringing in this amount of money. We're going to take more of it, and you shouldn't make any adjustment whatsoever. You should just eat the cost of whatever it is, continue to keep prices, goods, your employees paid in the same exact capacity as was before. And that's, to be fair, is the only way that what they advocate would make a little bit of sense. Though and by a little bit of sense, I'm not saying that that's a positive, because taxation is theft, extortion. To be more precise, theft by way of extortion. It's not how it works, woman. It's not how it works. Of course, any individual, company or not, it doesn't matter. If they are met with some money, or like they have to, let's say, allocate resources or their money paying into something else that they weren't previously doing, their living standard has to be adjusted because of that. So you can take that all the way down to the individual level. Doesn't matter whether you have kids or something where you now have a new responsibility. Maybe it's forced on you, maybe it's not. But there's money, meaning that has to go to something. Therefore, there's less money to go around for other things. So you then make an adjustment as an individual. Maybe you pick up another job. Or you cut back on the cost of other things. She is defying economic law by saying that the American people wouldn't stand for it, and they wouldn't, but they're too stupid to understand what the problem is. So you take more money from the producer passed that cost so they can break even on to the customers or even maybe even employees in some sense, but mainly the customers, because what happens is now it's going to cost more to purchase those goods so those people can try to break even. They're going to go blame the company because they're economically illiterate like you. That's where they're dumb, but they're smart at the same time. Because they recognize that the American people are fucking stupid. Because that's who they're going to blame. But she's privy at least to the argument that people would do that. They have. They will continue to. In the event that you say that they are now owing you more money, they're not going to just sit there and eat the cost. Now, even all of these social justice corporate entities are not going to do that. They're going to try every way they can to not only avoid those future taxes, but if all else is said and done, then they're going to put the price, down on to the individual. That is the customer that is paying for their good and or service. This is fundamental economics, which flies over the head of a lot of people. You know why? Because it's about emotions. It's like the terms you use, and we'll listen one more time.
That in the past, companies have passed on these costs to consumers. I'm not sure if that's the argument being made in this report. We feel that that's unfair and absurd, and the American people would.
She called it unfair and absurd. Completely emotional terms. Because who determines fairness? Is it fair for you to take money from them? No, right? Not at all. See, the best given scenario, and this is for the people who get in my videos who completely miss when we discuss about solutions and everything, and they completely miss. So they think about they're saying something profound or asking something profound. Well, where's your solution? Here's my solution. It's very easy. The government should not tax people more. I don't know how more clear that I could be in that. They shouldn't tax people at all. Oh, but what about my bitch ass roads? Yeah, those should be privatized as well. But at minimum, that's a non-point, because at minimum, raising the taxes upon these people is not the solution to anything. How about this? Here's an idea for you. The things that the government claims that it wants to pay for, how about it doesn't do that? And then you won't need to be pulling in money for all of these various other things that you're stealing from people to pay for, while then overpaying people by way of contracts and other things, because the government isn't a producer. Remember, everything that it has which is stolen from the American people, current or future generations, by monetized debt and printing money out of their fucking thin air. See, taxes really, what it amounts to is envy, is what it is. It's used as a way to punish people for seeing more money than others. And despite you knowing that the federal government is in $30 trillion worth of debt, so that's them telling you that they have no desire to spend money efficiently and effectively, right? You still think a solution to Richie McRich person, a solution to that is to have the government, who will piss away the money, steal it from them. Because it's about envy. You just rather them not have it and give it to another group of criminals as opposed to them keeping it. So there's your solutions there. Stop with the taxation. Get rid of and there's another one for these uber corporate entities that get money by way of, not always by way of grants and subsidies. Those should be eliminated as well, but through the form of contracts. How about we just end all of that shit? And then force them to have to, those big, gigantic corporate entities, the Amazons of the world, who get government contracts to do certain things, like host web services and shit. How about they have to be left up to the complete market? And instead of relying on stolen funds one way or another in that quasi-fascism, they have to rely upon, producing something that people want and can afford. Jen Psaki is a goddamn idiot. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.